Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Mr. Owens, and I'm back again with my instructional design part 2. And I just want to get into the gists of my course, right? The early components of my course, which entails the overview module, the week 1 module, and then the week 2 module. All right, so real quick, the ACT reading breakdown PowerPoint. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it is very extensive, but I really want to get into some vital information in the ACT test blueprint summary. All right, so here we have the question types, the passages, the number of questions, time allotted, right, for the English and reading concordance tests. All right, and so what happens is students at Deerfield Beach High School needs to get a certain score to reach their reading requirement, all right, in order to graduate. So that score needs to be a 17 and a half. All right. And this is a composite score between both reading and English. All right. So that is very important. And if you need to revert back to this information at any moment, at any time, feel free to do so. All right. So I'm going to just backtrack real quick. All right. So now next is the ACT instructional focus calendar. Basically, this is the guide. This is the scheduling guide of, what we'll do on the days we'll do it, right? And, how this course is compartmentalized is, we have activities, we have assessments, we have practice ACT exams, and I really believe in repetition and my students getting the reps and understanding the types of questions and understanding which questions that they resonate with the best and which questions that stifle them the most. All right. So I feel like this is very, very, very important. All right. And so here we have the ACT course brief. All right. So within this, right, we have, the standard in which I abide by, problems to be solved for the students who are taking the course, learning target, which is analyze various text structures to determine the appropriate ACT test strategy. All right. Get out of that. All right. So now, also, we have the warm-ups here too as well. I feel like the warm-ups will be very helpful. These are a lot of, just tabs that, students could use to enhance their English skills, right? All right. So now, as far as week 1, first thing you're going to do is enroll in Common Lit. All right. So here's what it looks like. You click on the link, enter the class code. The class code would be right under the Common Lit tab. All right. So there's where you put the class code. Here's the class code right here. All right. Within those quotation marks. All right. Other than that, we have the different ACT reading forms that, again, my students will get a lot of reps at these passages. These are past passages from the concordance tests that were offered to students in the past. We have the overview English sections, key techniques, the vertical scan. We'll get into that. We'll discuss that. For me, this course is a hybrid in the blended course, right? Obviously those are one and the same, but the thing is, there will be time periods where, students will be given the time freedom to go on here and, explore things as they please. But what happens is, students will assume more so of a passive learning approach once, we hit the classroom setting. And that's where, any questions or concerns are cleared up, but like I said, students go from active learning online to being passive learners, sitting through lectures and discussions and, things of that nature. Right. And so week two is kind of English based. So we have the key techniques here with English content, and then the English test, right? I do, we do, you do. Like I said earlier, my course is compartmentalized into, activities, reflections, assessments, learning objectives, things of that nature, right? And so that is my instructional design approach when it comes to, this course and what it entails, right? And so, is this student center led or teacher led? Obviously, online, right, in Canvas. I believe it's student led. Students are given the freedom to explore and to glean as much information as they can. All right, but again, they're bringing it back to us in a class setting, and we're discussing it. We're deliberating on, the different strategies that you know, may be conducive to, somebody with a certain learning style or a learning approach, right? And so, in the class setting is more teacher led, again, with the lectures and the discussions and, just the presentations and things of that nature. All right. And so, what is the scope or range of the instructor's role? All right. So, as the curator of this course, I believe that I will be forced to, wear many hats. That's a given, especially being that it's a blended / hybrid course. There will be moments where I will have to assume the role of a presenter, or where I would have to break down strategies to where my students could grasp these concepts, and there will also be a time where I would have to be a master facilitator and model, the things that I am teaching within the class. And that's why I do, we do, you do is so important, right? And so, also, a coach, a mentor, you know, students, upperclassmen at the secondary level who have yet to get their reading requirement are under a lot of stress, because if they don't pass these concordance tests, they don't graduate. And so now, my job, I have to be a mentor, I have to be a coach, I have to be a therapist, I have to be all these things, right? And so, it comes with it. It comes with the game, right? And so, how am I introducing this course, right, and myself to building a learning community? So for me, students only value what's right in front of them, right? And I tell them all the time is of the essence. So I for sure project this, with a sense of urgency, and what I've learned through my short tenure is that, you have to meet students where they are, what I mean? And, while simultaneously trying to get students to seize the moment and improve and to learn the strategies and to make adjustments, to, be the best that they can be or do the best that they can do on these tests, right? And so the ratio or percentage of synchronous and asynchronous collaboration. So, in other words, synchronous. I believe that, around 45% of the time, students should be, doing this thing autonomously, extracting what they can and then bringing it back, right? And having those questions and those concerns cleared up, and then the other 55%, we spend time, collaborating together, in a group setting, having group discussions, Socratic seminars, um, sitting through lectures, clarifying any misconceptions or anything that may, stifle the students, right? And so I think that's very important. And then, how will I address the infrastructure system and support needs and issues, my learners may face? So as for me, I'm very big on preventative maintenance. I like to, mitigate or to get ahead of any problems that may surface, and if that means, me having to construct, how-to videos or generate flexible office hours or to encourage my students to email me and, have them conduct Google surveys, I'll do it. What I mean? And so with that being said, that pretty much concludes, my learning design part 2, where I depict or, I showcase my overview, which is my start here module, and then week 1 and then week 2 modules.